This was a request from the board to have a discussion regarding how we're going to move forward in relation to the city. I think that was what brought this to the surface was the recent issues with deciding on the vendor for the video tampering allegations. In those decisions, this board sent a letter to the chief and requested that myself and Chair Moore at the time, be a part of the process in choosing the vendor in our oversight capacity.
Can we back up just a second to your objection to them hiring a vendor in the first place? Previously to you and Beth getting involved, you had presented to them why they shouldn't do it. It was my position that based upon our presentation to the Department of Justice and to the monitoring team in the first week of November, that any look at this from an administrative standpoint is premature until the criminal aspects of the allegations had been fully investigated. And when we did that presentation to the Department of Justice, the video aspects and allegations were only one portion of what we referred to the Department of Justice. We did receive confirmation from the Department of Justice that they were looking into our inquiry, and the video was a part of that inquiry. So I went in front of the Finance and Government Committee when they were passing their resolution to have a city council representative on this team to choose the vendor. I then answered questions in front of the city council on the night that they passed the resolution, still urging the city councilors to not move forward and wait for the criminal investigation to be completed and the criminal review to be completed, because in my mind it's duplicitous, and if in fact any of the allegations in this affidavit are true, they are going to be criminal. However, the city made it very clear that no matter what the city council ruled, as far as their wanting to have some oversight, that they were going to move forward anyway. So with that, myself and Chair Moore were involved in a teleconference on the 2nd of December. We reviewed a list of approximately 15 vendors that were being vetted at the time for conflicts of interest with the city. And we both passed along that we didn't have any problems with those vendors in particular, and with the expectation that there was going to be a more robust discussion about each of the vendors, their quality, their qualifications, and the scope of the investigation the city wanted to perform. We learned some weeks later that the city moved forward and it decided on 2 vendors, was negotiating with both of them, and was about to sign a contract with one of them. Minus the robust conversation.
Minus the robust conversation, yes. We were not included in that. Neither was the Inspector General, Mr. Harper, and neither was Mr. Davis from the audit, nor was Mr. Saman, the city councilor's representative for that oversight function.
So the promo is everybody's going to have a voice, and then nobody had a voice but the city.
That's correct. And I voiced my concerns that this might be an attempt to contract this vendor and then make it a work product of the city attorney's office, so therefore it would not be a public record. It would be cloaked under the attorney-client privilege. Subsequently, they chose a vendor, and then the state controller advised the city that that particular vendor was on a restricted status in New Mexico restricted from doing certain business with government entities in the state. I was then included in a rather hastily convened meeting on Monday where the discussion was whether or not to move away from this particular vendor, Ide Bailey, and to move to the second choice, which was Elijah. And that decision was made there. But in fact, what were the choices and options that we were really discussing, except for the fact that they are short on time, they want to get this done, and this is the vendor we're going to go with. So that was the decision that was made from that particular meeting.
So the point of this conversation is, once again, we have had issues with obstacles being put in our way, being dismissed, invited and then dismissed, not being able to give our input to many things, this being the most recent of them. Is that a fair assessment?
Chair Moore, I'm sorry, Chair Fine, that's correct.
That's all right. I could be called worse. Chair Moore would be fine. So.